Lamine Yamal or Cristiano Ronaldo, who came up tops? Turns out it was Nuno Mendes. Or was it him? Or perhaps was it just Roberto Martinez? Well, in this video, we are going to break down how exactly Portugal won the Nations League against Spain. A lot of people were expecting Spain to win this one, but it did not happen. And we're going to focus on mainly two things. And those two things actually are one, the ability of Roberto Martinez to adapt to a game. And number two, just Nuno Mendes being Nuno Mendes and with some Cristiano Ronaldo thrown in there. So let's start by looking at Spain when they hit the ball. So they play the ball. We already know that they play the ball, and a couple of times they did beat the press of Portugal. But what they were trying to do for a few times, and they almost succeeded in this, was trying to play diagonal balls to Nico Williams, who will then be 1v1 with Neves. The idea here, obviously, everyone will know. You are playing Neves as a right back because Martinez wanted Neves to invert into midfield and form a double pivot so that, they can have numerical advantage in midfield. But you're also running a risk of having a central midfielder playing as a right back. So Spain were trying to target this. So Spain were trying to target this, and they almost scored earlier on in the game. But this is where Ruben Diaz came in as well to try and recover and help when it came to doing that. But sometimes Neves was also capable enough to go there and mark by himself. But as the game went on, what you also saw is that Roberto Martinez realized that, hey, actually Neves needs a lot of help there on the right, and it's not just going to be Diaz always recovering. So then he then sent reinforcements because, as you can see here, now he has Bernardo Silva and he has Conceição as well dropping in to help. And then it's immediately a 3v1. And Kukureya was very careful with how far up he went because there is the threat of Conceição with pace. So he was very careful with how much he pushed forward. So then Nico Williams was just neutralized in that game. And to just make matters a bit better for Roberto Martinez, he brought on Nelson Semedo to play as a right back because that's his natural position. And after that, we never saw of Nico Williams until he was taken off. We saw this against Germany as well, that Portugal likes to start with Neves on the right, which I think is kind of limiting to him. Arsenal fans will know this. They've been complaining about Mikel Arteta doing the same thing with Thomas Partey. Plays him at right back, and you don't really get the best out of Thomas Partey because he is not a right back, but they're trying to obviously at some point invert him into midfield. But that works if you are playing against a team that's not keeping the ball. So Semedo came in, and then most of the problems were then solved. But Martinez was not done there because we also need to look at this thing. Ronaldo was defending. If you watched, or if you haven't watched the video, go check the video analysis of Germany against Portugal. We saw Ronaldo doing a lot of defending in that game. Well, some defending, much better than what he did in his prime, because in his prime, all that was expected from Ronaldo is for him to score goals. But now, since he's not scoring goals all the time, sometimes he's also, assisting where he can, because a lot of people have been criticizing Ronaldo that he's just dead weight and he's not scoring because of the free kicks that he's missing. But now, he seems like he's just like, I'm going to work harder and start even assisting when we're defending. Not that he wasn't defending at all, but we've seen it much more in the previous two games. And he's also scored goals as well in the previous two games. So we see Ronaldo being here, defending, winning the ball back from Lamine Yamal in this case, because Lamine Yamal had the ball. And then this is another case. Ronaldo is there next to Lamine Yamal and he wins the ball back. Before we talk about Mendes, there's one thing that we need to do. Let's subscribe, right? Let's subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the video, and please like the video, right? Like the video if you're enjoying, that is, and then dislike it if you don't like it. So one of the two has to happen. So Portugal just showed respect to Lamine Yamal. They did not say, Mendes, you're a good defender, you're going to deal with him. They were ganging up on him because before you even look at this, you can clearly see that even though Ronaldo is the one who wins the ball, it's kind of easy for him to do that because there's a wall in front of him. There's just people ready to mark him. And even the first time around, if you watch, there's like two people in front of him, and then Ronaldo comes in and he's the third one to win the ball. And it's the same thing when Ronaldo wins the ball for the second time again. There are people in front of Lamine Yamal, so he can't go through there, so the ball is then won back. So that is a kind of thing they were not overconfident saying that, we'll put two and be fine. Everyone be on Lamine Yamal and make sure that they don't play. So on top of that, we then saw Mendes just dealing with Lamine Yamal accordingly. The boy is here trying to turn with the ball. Mendes is there, wins the ball back. The ball is there. Mendes is again there, he wins the ball back. And Mendes again, he was clutch, this guy. There were some last-ditch defending moments where he was turned and you could see that he's done here. But then he recovers, blocks the ball, and then once again, arguably he's out of position in this case, or he's just covering for the person who's playing the Spanish striker on side. So he comes across, he deals with the ball. But you would think that he was done here. But this was not the end. Of course it wasn't, because you will see that he was also very good on the ball. Like, oh man, can we play that again? He skins one of the most, if not the most skillful player right now in the world. Like, look at this. Oh, I know Lamal is not a Yamin Lamal. What did I just say? Lamine Yamal is not a defender, but even here, he just glides past him easily, and then he crosses the ball, and then it's a goal. First goal involvement. And then later on in the game, he could have actually, if they were better at finishing, they could have scored a goal there. But you also see in the first goal, it was still the same person, Nuno Mendes. He goes in when the ball is being started at the back. He's there, has highlighted on top of the screen there, just underneath subscribe, right? So he's there, ready to collect the ball. So he's there when Portugal are defending, and the ball is progressed. A few seconds later, 16 seconds later, he's now in the middle, and now the ball goes forward. When the ball is in the final third of Portugal as they're attacking, which is closer to the goals of Spain, now you see that he's not trying to be a typical left back, or I'm going to overlap and be around behind the winger and cross the ball. But he's reading the game very well to see that, okay, this one, there's already a wide player, so let me perhaps find a space here. And then he finds space. And at this moment, you are thinking, okay, back post, cross, back post. But no, he doesn't think that. He's like, nah, I'm going to take a shot. And then he takes a shot, and then it's a goal. Against Germany was the one who got them back to the game, crossing the ball, and then Ronaldo scored. So, Mendes, I don't know whether when I heard that Florentino Perez is working on a secret signing, wonder whether that's going to be Mendes, because Madrid don't have a left back. And if there was a player that they would go out for, like pay a lot of money for, they got Trent for free, right? 10 million for getting him before the Club World Cup, but basically that's nothing to Madrid. If there was a signing that Real Madrid would try to get, it's him. But they don't have a good relationship with PSG. So I guess that he will continue staying at PSG. And if you think about Nuno Mendes shutting down Mohamed Salah, Bukayo Saka, and now Lamine Yamal, that is just crazy business. But what did you guys think of Nuno Mendes and the game as a whole? Because I enjoyed both the semifinals and the final. Do let me know down in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed, do make sure to subscribe. Bye. And watch this video. This video. YouTube thinks you'll like it.